Hi, guys. Today we have the really good fortune of sitting down with Tori Toth. She is a celebrity homestager and the host of Homestaging Television. And she has been so kind as to invite us to talk about a really relevant topic today, and that is holiday leg and kind of mindset around holiday burnout and how to capitalize on the moment to really take advantage of both resting and rejuvenating during this time for you as a home stager, but also what can you do to maybe get a step ahead? Stick with us. We've got a lot to talk about. Tori's expertise is invaluable and we really dig into it today. So here we go.
Jenny, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Doing? Hi, Tori.
I'm so happy to see you here. And I think we have so much to talk about this holiday season, because I don't know about you, but I feel just as crazed as I did pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and now we're a little bit post-pandemic.
Yeah. You know, this is really interesting, Tori, because I was thinking in the shower this morning that last year in the middle of COVID, we were all kind of stuck at home doing our own thing. It was a super peaceful, pretty chill season for me. And I can't remember the last time it was like that. And I think this year we're all of a sudden all back in, all the family stuff is happening again. The gatherings are happening, the parties are happening again. And it feels like, to me, it feels like a lot.
Exactly. So as an entrepreneur, all of our stager friends out there, our real estate agent friends out there, you know, we have to be juggling both business and personal together. And so we could feel this holiday lag. What does that feel like, Jenny?
I mean, for me specifically, it feels like overwhelming. I tend to kind of shut down. So when it just starts feeling like too much, instead of kind of charging in head on, I kind of start shutting down. So I start procrastinating, things that are important to me in terms of running the business, start feeling really heavy. I lose motivation to do stuff. What does it feel like for you?
So for me, it kind of like, it makes me just, I don't know, get more focused, like dialed in and organized. I'm kind of like a deadlines girl and I procrastinate a lot. So when I have like all of this stuff to do, it actually makes me more focused and it gets things checked off my to-do list. I think that comes from the TV reporting world where we always had like the strict deadline. So I work well under pressure, I want to say, and where there's a lot of chaos going on. But, you know, you just start losing those things that you're used to, right? Like exercising and, you know, I don't know, sitting around reading a book or petting your cat, you know, it's those things that just fall to the wayside.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of fall to the last of your to-do list, right? Your personal needs. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
which is actually a really easy way to burn out as an entrepreneur. I mean, I think you and I both know that we've both been doing our own thing for a long time, and you learn that you have to prioritize, your own well-being to a pretty significant degree in order to stay the vibrant, successful, enthusiastic entrepreneur that you are.
Yeah. And I think with the proper planning, it's all about planning, right? If you're going to be doing, if you're wearing a lot of hats and you got to be dealing with your family life and, maybe you want to have a side hustle and all these different things, you need to have a plan in place. Or like what you're saying, you can really suck the joy out of not only yourself, but the season, and people around you may not want to be spending time with you then.
Yeah.
So what is like your first tip to kind of beat the holiday lag?
Erin and I really take this time to focus on who and what we're grateful for in terms of our clients and our customers. So we sit down early on in the season and start making a list of the people that we've encountered, new people that have come into our lives through networking, new clients, new contacts. We think about clients that we've served over the years. both this year and previous years, future clients that we're engaging. And then we think about how we can just do something very simple to express our gratitude for their business, for their subscribership, for following and engaging with us on social media. And it's simple, you know, for us, that sometimes just means a holiday card, or some easy gesture just to say, hey, we appreciate you, we appreciate your business. And in turn, then I think what happens, Tori, is we take a moment really to think about what we are grateful for. And again, this is really easy to put on the back burner, right? You put your own needs at the bottom of the list. But it forces us to think about what we've really appreciated over the past year. And that is, for us, that's things like, you know, our own personal growth. What milestones have we achieved in our business this year? What milestones have we achieved, you know, personally in terms of, you know, personal growth and development related to our business? And that doesn't have to be a big deal. It can literally be sitting down with a cup of coffee for 15 minutes and thinking about where you can find some gratitude, because being an entrepreneur is really hard, right? We bust our tails. I know you do, you know, we do. So as cliche, I think as sometimes that sounds, that's a, you know, keyword during the holiday season, I think it matters.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I have this journal. It's called the 5-minute journal. And it talks about 3 things that you're grateful for. You know, I do this in the morning, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're looking to, like, what would make your day amazing, an affirmation, which I pulled unicorn cards when I put my affirmation together for the day. Yeah. And then in the evening, you go back and you talk about 3 things that were, you know, like amazing for the day and what could have been better, like what could have been better. And it's already there prompted for you. So you don't really have to think about it as much. You just have to kind of take the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes to just reflect and be able to do that both in the morning and the evening to understand gratitude. I think that it's so hard though, like what you're saying, entrepreneurs get so hung up on like, well, what should I get my customers or clients? And you want to think big, lavish, over the top gifts. And it's like, you don't really have the budget for that. And who do you give these things to? And it can stress someone out so bad. So do you have any tips for that? I mean, a card is great, but is it enough?
I think it is enough. I think it is enough. I think it's enough if you take the minute it takes to handwrite a note inside, make it specific. You know, everybody can do a pre-printed, card that comes out and it's kind of a commercial, you know, globally glossed over thing. But how much time does it actually take to pick up a pen and jot a note that says, hey, Tori, loved doing the collaboration with you this year. You know, let's, you know, do it again in the new year. You know, it shows that I care enough to take a minute of my time. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. I think it's enough. And I think that is more meaningful than the big over the top gifts. We have enough to do. We have enough on our plates. It's okay to keep it really simple. It is.
I know, even like, I mean, everyone says it's so like the $5 gift card to Starbucks or something, but it's something that everybody needs. It's just showing a little bit of like the appreciation versus buying a whole wine basket or something. Yeah, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, buying little tchotchkes. I don't know about you, but like, I just can't handle any more tchotchkes.
Yeah, all the marketing stuff, it feels like a lot of junk, right? But I'm so glad you said the $5 gift certificate. We've had that conversation before. Does $5 like feel cheap? Absolutely not. I've been given $5 gift cards for coffee. I love it. Thank you. Yes, I love to have a cup of coffee. Thank you. I think that's really thoughtful. It's not about how much. It's that you took the time to make the effort and reach out.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about planning. How do we wrap our heads around planning ahead when we already feel like we are behind in our present state, right? How do we plan ahead if we're just trying to get through the day?
Yeah. So this for me really requires planning, weeks in advance. I mean, for me, 6 to 8 weeks in advance of the entire holiday season. And then I figure out really what my time off is going to be. And I like for it to be 2 to 3 weeks between Christmas and New Year's, sometime in that frame. And then I really have to plan ahead so that I don't fall victim to the very easy habit. I think we all do this as entrepreneurs of, well, it'll only take me 5 minutes to answer this email, or it'll only take me a minute to answer this call. Or it'll only take, me a minute to make this social media post. Write the media posts ahead, schedule them, have them done and scheduled so that they can, take care of themselves. This sounds trivial, but all these little things add up and take time. Set the notifications on email. Put out media posts in advance, letting your followers, your clients, your customers know that you're going to be taking some time off for the holidays. How do you do it? What are your secrets?
Oh my goodness. Churn and burn. No.
Right. Yes.
It definitely, you definitely need a plan. So I plan not only my own content, I plan for different clients, like staging content for other clients out there, blog posts. So you definitely need to schedule in the time and have control over your whole time management scenario. I would say, bulk things where you can. Don't get distracted on the social media platforms, and really just prioritize what needs to be done that day, what needs to be done that week. And if you can't get to the blog post, if you can't get to, the post on social media, yes, it hurts inside. I feel like for me, I always feel guilty. I was like, damn, I didn't get a video up this week. Right. But you need to make sure that you are kind of writing down all the things that you are doing too, because then you can go back and say, oh, well, I didn't get that done, but I got this done, or I didn't get that done because I was messing around and I need to get focused again, right? So you kind of have to see where you're at. Another thing I'll tell my clients too, in that I do myself, it's like maybe a month is just, a wash. And that's going to be your month to plan so you can get it right in the next 2 months of the quarter. You really want to at least plan a month before a quarter starts. Yeah. But if you don't, you got to start somewhere, and you have to give yourself the forgiveness, I think, too, because everyone's like, well, I'm supposed to be doing this. And if you didn't get to it, you didn't get to it. So if you don't have, I would say, your social media scheduled for the rest of the year, if you don't have a marketing plan for the rest of the year, just let 2021 go and start focus, get dialing in on 2022 and how you're going to just start fresh January 1 out the gate. And what's the plan? Yeah.
I love that you talk about giving yourself some grace, because the truth is it's the holidays. You're supposed to have an opportunity to enjoy this time with your family and friends. And another thing that you mentioned that I think is kind of key for me, if I haven't done a really good job of planning January before I take a holiday break, I am for sure going to sweat it over those weeks that I have off. So if I know before I take my holiday break that I know what's coming in January, I know what I'm going to do when the time comes, I know what it looks like, I've got appointments booked, I've got things scheduled, then I can chill a little bit and, actually enjoy the holidays, because I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I've left it all and I'm going to have a mountain of stuff to deal with when I return. That's, for me does not work. So.
Yeah. And one of my friends told me once, they're like, well, why do you have to fit all the planning in and the holidays in before 1/1 of the new year. Why don't you make January your planning month?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And give yourself that grace to get started, get refocused, figure out what it is you want to do. Yeah, I mean, you can always be brainstorming while you're on vacation, while you're ending the year, but you know, you can also, I mean, who says that you have to have a game plan come January 1/1? You don't. You can have it come February.
You don't. And honestly, like if I don't turn my brain off at certain times, I mean, really genuinely like shut it down for a little bit. I, those shutdown times for me, and I think for a lot of people, there are times when we sort of what's the word? Like regenerate, we revitalize. It's a good time for creativity to sort of happen. When you intentionally set it aside, you create some space for new ideas to, pop up, and, real like genuine inspiration sometimes needs to come from a place of just stepping back, stepping out, and breathing for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, and so how do you how do we put this into a daily plan, a weekly plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in order, because all this stuff is swirling in your head of what needs to be done and how you're going to do it and how you're going to fit everything in. How do you establish those small daily, weekly goals through the holiday season so you could still spend some time with your family?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I was saying, for me, I plan January pretty well so that I can, relax a little bit during the holiday. And that means starting way ahead. I like the idea of doing, little daily goals. And these are small things. I love that you have at Tori a daily practice that includes goal planning and gratitude, like we were talking about earlier. I love that you do that daily twice a day. I think that's incredible. This is not a time-consuming thing. It's a habit that you've developed that helps you focus on, things that are really positive, and we need that reinforcement when we're out here doing this stuff on our own, don't we?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And then those little daily plans take, for me, making a little daily plan, and this is literally me with my coffee in the morning for 5 minutes. It takes the guesswork out of the rest of the day. I don't have to bite off the whole, oh my gosh, I've got a million things to do. It's like, here it is. I'm going to tackle these 2 things or these 4 things today. And I can live with that.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of like working backwards. Like, what's the deadline?
Mm-hmm.
And how many tasks do you need to do ahead of time in order to complete that task by the deadline? And then start planning backwards, right?
Yeah. 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 That's a great idea. Yeah. If when you've got to have something done, and you can, I tend to be like you, I procrastinate and I work really well under pressure, but that doesn't work for everybody. So if you've got 3 weeks to execute, a plan and a script for an upcoming project that you're doing, and that you really want to put some thought into it, build that into a 3-week plan where you're actually giving it, 30 minutes of your time, every week, so that you don't sweat that in the last minute, if that's your thing.
I know. And that's definitely a habit. It's a habit you have to form as well, right? Giving stuff priority when it's not necessarily a top priority of a deadline.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think you also have to make a habit of rewarding yourself or acknowledging your accomplishments as they happen. We tend to be, as human beings, so task oriented, and, we check something off the list and then we're on to the next thing. But what about really intentionally also rewarding ourselves for, achieving those daily, weekly, and monthly goals?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I do this enough.
Yeah. None of us do. Yeah.
Okay, go on to the next thing. And you're right. You need to stop and take the time to acknowledge, oh, I wrote a book. Oh, I have this many views on YouTube. oh, I just got this client, and not just be like, oh, I need to get the next client, or I need to, just pausing. And even I do try and put some monetary things to it, or be like, okay, well, if I work 4 days straight, I can go out with my friends for happy hour or something, or I can get, I can get a pair of AirPods, or, like putting something to it to kind of make you work harder towards that goal.
Yeah, I love that. Attaching something that's really meaningful to you, whether that's, something material that you really want to get your hands on, or, an experience like a trip or a vacation, that motivates the heck out of me to hit some milestones. And
Girls
another, the flip part, what's that?
Girls trip to Cabo.
Cabo, yeah, girl. Doesn't that sound nice right now?
No, I'm thinking maybe a retreat in 2022, girls trip to Cabo.
Love it. That sounds fabulous. A little yoga, a little happy hour. I'm in.
And then work, and some work too, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, we work hard. We got to play hard too. I think that's fair. And I think that's right. And I think that we kind of, as a society, and I think as Americans, often we overvalue hard work and we undervalue rest and relaxation and play. I think that our balance here gets a little skewed, and that's something that I am constantly working on. And I think as women, we also have this experience, right? Like we have to be working hard to prove ourselves and show that we're worthy of the things that we're accomplishing. And that's a constant lesson and battle for me. But I take, one of the ways that I do that very simply is I take my, my time off, my vacation time, and then I stick to my guns on it, as much as sometimes my inner, entrepreneur is screaming, you could be doing this and you could be doing that. I make myself honor the time that I've given myself, because I deserve it. We all deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, I learned this early on as an entrepreneur, that you kind of have to schedule your own personal time first when you're planning out your year.
Yeah.
And then the deadlines, and then start working backwards. And that will help you be present in your, in your current situation. And I think that's so hard for people to be in the here and now when you're constantly thinking about business, or, you're worried about your child. But like being in family mode, right? And then, putting away the phone. Do you schedule certain times? I was just reading The Compound Effect by what's his name, Darren Hardy, and he goes into like having specific time just for his relationship, having family time. So like from 6 p.m. on Friday to sun up on Sunday, it is spent with the family. And I still honestly don't think that's enough. I feel like why are we working so hard if we only get less than 48 hours with the people we love?
Yeah, I agree. And also I feel like that scheduling is a little bit regimented for me, but I think that the key takeaway that I get from that, and the way that I kind of do that in my own life, is I believe in setting business hours and sticking to them. Could I take a few minutes at 9 o'clock at night to answer a couple emails that I know have come in after hours? Yes, it takes like a commitment from me to say, I am not obligated to answer business calls after hours. As an entrepreneur, I have a right to set business hours. I'm respecting my own boundaries there. I'm respecting the needs of the people in my life, my friends and my family and my relationships. And the best way I do that is by setting and maintaining business hours. So when those emails come in after hours, I fight the urge to answer them, and I answer them the next day after 9 o'clock. when, I am in work mode, and, and then I feel like I haven't shortchanged myself. I feel like I haven't shortchanged my people. How much does it suck to be sitting at a restaurant or, happy hour with your friends, and you see the work calls come in, and, it takes you away from the moment. And I know this happens to you. I know your calls and your emails and your media comments come in 24/7. They do for Erin and I too. And the only way to not, really become, a victim to that is to set hard boundaries and follow them. I have to do it.
Yeah, I usually block out time too. And there's certain days where I won't take clients, I usually don't take clients Mondays and Fridays. I didn't, even when I was staging full time, I didn't really take clients those days either, or not the entire day, because I need those days to start my week and end my week. On Wednesdays, it would usually just be an office day where I could work on the business versus in the business. And so setting those parameters around your week, saying we can only schedule staging consults on these days, we could schedule full stages on these days. I know people are going to give us pushback with this comment right now, but you own your own hours in your staging company, not the real estate agents, not the home seller. Yes, you can try and work around their schedules, but at the end of the day, they also need to be working around yours.
Absolutely. And I think it's hard as entrepreneurs to not, it's that fear, it's the FOMO, right? If I don't answer this realtor's call right now at 9:45 at night, I'm not going to get the staging job. My experience has been, because it's tough to fight that urge, but my experience has been that that's not the case. I return that call first thing the next morning during business hours, and it just has not proven true that for me, in my experience over the years, that you have to, be at everyone's beck and call 24/7. And on that same token, realtors really get that, don't they? They're accustomed to being, lit up, at all hours of the day and night by their clients. So they get it.
Yeah. I mean, just because it might be their business model doesn't mean it has to be yours.
That's right.
So definitely set the boundaries. And if you've never read the book Boundary Boss, I would suggest starting there.
I was just going to say, I think there's tremendous value. I think we personally get a lot out of setting our own boundaries, not just that it helps us manage our family time, but I find that terribly empowering to say, hey, my time is important. I have a right to these things. I have a right to focus on my family and my fun and my well-being, my exercise and, meditation or yoga or cooking classes or, children's sports activities. What your priority is, it doesn't matter whether that's anybody else's priority. You have a right to set those boundaries. And when you honor your own boundaries, I feel a lot better about myself when I maintain my boundaries. When I start slipping and I start, being reactive to everybody else's needs instead of honoring my own, I start falling short in terms of my personal happiness and satisfaction as an entrepreneur, and it's not worth it.
Exactly. So what do you do to better yourself during the holidays, or carve out time for yourself? What does some of those things look like for you?
For me, it's literally taking that long stretch of time off of work, 2 weeks, really ideally 3 weeks. For me, it's being able to just mentally say, I have done everything I can to prepare for this time. And now I get to step back, and then I go do the stuff that I want to do. I take the vacation. I, spend time with my family and friends. I do, I'm not doing anything that's always terribly different or special than the things that I do to honor my time during the regular year. but I carve out the time. And like I said before, I stick to those boundaries for my vacation over the holidays. How about you? What do you do?
I mean, I would love to go on vacation, maybe one day again.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
still waiting. But yeah, just giving myself I think for me, I get so caught up in myself. Like I'm my own worst critic, my own worst enemy, you know, like nothing anybody could do could be worse than what I could do to myself. And
I feel that, girl.
if I just like sit on the couch all day and watch, you know, Netflix or something, I actually guilt myself into like, why were you not more productive today? Why didn't you go on a walk? Why didn't you do, you know, your routine? And, you know, sometimes you do just need that mental break, and it's okay to say to yourself, like, this was what was on the schedule today, right? You know,
right.
So
yes.
So, I mean, that's been a hard thing for me, but obviously carving out more time to exercise. I walk usually 10,000, between 5 and 10,000 steps. But when I was trying to lose a lot more weight, I would walk 10,000 steps 5, 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week. It became a habit. And then it also became like a stress reliever for me too, to get outside, to, you know, clear my head, to brainstorm, or just to have like a conversation if a friend came with me. Or read something or listen to a podcast. Like that's another way that you're able to get, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right?
Yeah. That's funny. I do that too. I strive for 5 miles a day, and I usually do that in one long walk, but that's an awesome time to, I usually listen to music. I refuse to answer work calls during that time. It's just an hour, you know, I can do 5 miles in about an hour and 10 minutes. So it's just a small window of the day, but I get some exercise, which I need. I can kind of shut my mind off. I love to listen to podcasts too. And sometimes I listen to stuff that's, you know, really beneficial to me in terms of, you know, bettering myself as an entrepreneur. And sometimes I just listen to the crap that is funny or feels good or, you know, entertains me, because I like to shut it off. And I'm glad you said what you said about Netflix. We tend to be so hard on ourselves for, you know, for letting down or being still for a minute. And it's just necessary. One of my favorite designers here in town, she said one time to Erin and I a couple of years ago, she said, there are no emergencies in decorating. She's like, these things, this is not a real life emergency. And I go back to that all the time. You know, my clients are important and they matter, but I try to keep some balance, you know, in terms of, you know, what a real emergency is, and, you know, how can I meet other people?
What do you mean? You're not a brain surgeon? You're not a brain
right. The wallpaper arriving 2 days late is not an emergency. We will make it work. We will get through this. Right. Yeah.
What about asking for help? Like, have you ever hired assistants during this time?
Yes.
Or even just personal assistance, right? To get some stuff done.
Yes. I have been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. And in my younger days, it was a lot harder for me to ask for help. I felt like that made it seem like I couldn't do it all, or I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't good enough at what I was doing. And with age comes wisdom, I suppose, thank God. And I no longer have any shame in that game. Not only do I you know, when I say Erin and I, my business partner as well, we will hire people to help us with hands-on staging jobs, just to have, you know, a couple extra people to be doing the heavy lifting on installation day. I have no problem asking other people in the home staging industry for their ideas, their expertise. I mean, I really feel that we have an opportunity in this day and age to lift each other up, especially, you know, as women in business, right? We can compete with one another, Or we can recognize the genius that we have collectively and band together and use our, our strength in numbers to achieve things together. We don't have to live in this competitive, who's on top world. That just doesn't work for me anymore. And I feel so much better when I'm working with other people and we're encouraging each other and supporting each other than I do when I feel like I'm, an island and I'm clawing my way, to the top. And I ask for help in my personal life too. I'm not ashamed to, order my groceries online and, pick them up in the delivery line if it's a busy week. It's a simple thing that I can do to, make my life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think definitely like online gift shopping for sure. I've been doing that for years now. I won't even go into a store around this time of year. I mean, it's just not worth it to me because it's more stressful than anything else when you're shopping for gifts and things. So I just put everything online. It comes to the door. Don't have to worry about it. Even saying no to other commitments that people, think that you should be going to, but you're not necessarily passionate about, or that, you really have to always, I think, protect your time and do what you think is going to be the most valuable with it, even on your downtime, even, with your family members. If you have to hire a babysitter, a housekeeper,
right.
have to have, your aunt make the sweet potatoes and not you, right? Do things like that just save you time and will make you less stressful throughout the holiday season.
Yeah, that stuff is okay. And I love asking for help on all those personal things. But we could also be asking for help with stuff related to the business. Maybe you just don't have it in your, wingspan for the month of February to, handle your social media. Maybe there's somebody that you can hire to, do those posts or respond to comments, or maybe you don't have, you think about the tasks that are in your day-to-day or weekly or monthly, even, schedules for your business, and where could you maybe outsource some of that just to simplify?
Yeah. It all goes back to kind of being very aware of your time and writing it all down of where you're spending your time, and then trying to delegate what you don't like to do, what you're not good at, or what, is above your pay grade. I mean, or is below your pay grade, I should say.
Right. I mean, can we just talk
about your pay grade?
Right. Yeah. Why do we not delegate the stuff we don't like to do? Right? Focus on your point of genius. So the idea is you're going after the things that you're the best at, your point of genius, and the rest of it, let somebody else do it. If you're fortunate enough to have a business partner, figure out where your strengths are and where their strengths are, and then split up the responsibilities. If you don't have a business partner and can, and have the good fortune of outsourcing or delegating some stuff, push off the stuff that you're not great at, or that doesn't really fill your cup, and focus your energy, focus your genius on the stuff that really lights you up and fires you up, because that is how you're going to be the most effective at what you do.
I completely agree.
So I think, Tori, we've kind of went through a lot of the stuff that we do to manage our, manage our own needs and manage the needs of our business during this really hectic holiday time. Do you want to talk for a minute about what we do to maybe capitalize on this time? Because the reality is that everybody's busy this time of year, And a lot of times, other stagers, other people in the community are, taking their own time. And you could also look at this holiday period, this lag time, if you will, to do simple little things to capitalize on, and really take advantage of the season.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. So how do you, what's something that you do to capitalize on the season?
Well, I think something that's really interesting is that they say that the 8 weeks between now kind of and Christmas, New Year's, it's when people spend the most money out of the entire year. So, how could you in your home staging business tap into that and take advantage of that moment where everybody's, spending money. Something cool that Erin and I do, we promote, we'll do like giveaways, or we'll sell gift certificates like for design services. Maybe that just looks like, for a couple of $100, somebody could purchase a gift certificate for a friend, a family member. A realtor can purchase this to give to her clients so that they can benefit from home staging services. It's a great way to boost your brand awareness on your social media, and it's a great way to bring attention to the types of services that you do.
I think too, depending on what you're offering in terms of services and products, and if you have something to either bundle together, or you can give buy one, get one, or something like that, and really capitalizing on the Black Friday, we are in Black Friday season right now.
Yes.
Capitalizing on that, and just giving your potential community and clients and people on your email list an opportunity to utilize you if they haven't.
Yeah.
And giving them a little bit of a sweet deal. And it's not about discounting your prices or offering a promotion. It would be, what can you add? What value can you add to your offer already to sweeten the pot?
Yes, I love that. Adding value. How do you add value for your clients and your customers? We love doing contests and that sort of thing over the holidays. We'll do a giveaway, something to engage the community in a fun, creative thing. It could be something as simple as, show us pictures of your Christmas trees, and, how do you get creative, or, DIY sorts of products. And then we'll do giveaways and contests. It's fun for people. They love to, be involved and get engaged, and everybody likes a chance to win something.
Definitely. I mean, doing the giveaways, they can be a little bit of work setting up, or thinking about what would be valuable, but then you can always ask the question to your community that you have out there, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you've got a little bit of a pool of people. Yeah. Ask them a poll, what would they see? What would inspire them? What do they like? And see what they say, see how they answer and respond. And then that can help you to create the contest or the giveaway. What about trying to deal with real estate agents, or even finding new clients?
So I think that the giveaways are a great way to find new clients. You could do a promotion maybe on your social media that's really geared specifically towards realtors. One of the ways that we tap into new clients, new realtors, we tag them on our social media. We'll promote one of their listings on our social media. We have a really broad following. So when we see an open house, either for a realtor that we work for or work with and stage for, or perhaps a realtor that we'd like to engage in business with, they're delighted when we promote their open house on our social media, because that expands their reach exponentially. And that's free marketing for them. It's showing some goodwill in the community. We all want to work together. and we're all benefiting from that that experience.
Yeah. And like we said earlier too, the handwritten note goes a long way when trying to start or maintain, a relationship with somebody in business.
Yeah, it really does. A lot of times too, we'll pop into an open house and take the opportunity to meet a new realtor. Um, I mean, we'll stop into an open house with a cup of coffee to share, and talk about for just a minute about how staging could, how we envision staging for a property. And what we think staging would do for this particular, home that we're standing in with the realtor. It's just a nice opportunity to do something kind, say hello, have a personal introduction, and, make a new connection.
Yeah. There's so many, like, I don't know, like, even if you're going to give them a gift, creative, right? We're in the creative field.
Right.
So, I mean, could you do their centerpiece for Thanksgiving or something as their gift? And then, at the table, everybody's talking about the centerpiece that you created for them, a DIY, locally handmade something. And it's the talk of the table. And guess who created it? You. So they're going to be talking about you.
Yes.
Maybe for one of your real estate agents that you work with all the time, you say, hey, let me decorate let me spruce up your guest room or something. If you know that they're having guests for the holiday season, and it's just a great way to keep you top of mind in the conversation in their personal space, right? In their personal lives when they're talking with their family and friends.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. And I think that sometimes the surprise value that comes out of that is worth its weight in gold. I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm thinking about a couple of different situations where we've gifted charcuterie boards. Like, we knew a realtor was having some friends in for a girls' weekend. We had just finished a job for her, and we sent her a board, and it was profoundly impactful for a small, for a small price to pay. She was so proud that, she had that to share with her friends. We were the topic of conversation amongst that whole circle of other girlfriend realtors who got together for that girls' weekend. It was a simple way to make a big impact. And I think that the surprise element of that, having that, show up on the doorstep was a big deal. So,
there's so many things that you can gift now, even like edible arrangements, something as simple as that. It's so beautiful to see on the table, but it's also healthy, right? Like, it's the substitution to all the pie.
It is. And honestly, Tori, I love your idea about the centerpiece. Everybody wants a centerpiece or a floral arrangement for their holiday table, whatever the season is. An awesome way to get your name mentioned on repeat, around that holiday table. And you mentioned community, and I was thinking about that as well. We love to get involved in the community and during the holidays. And I think there's a number of different ways that you can do that. We have a local hospice that sets up a whole huge Christmas display fundraiser every year, and all kinds of local businesses decorate trees, and it's a really cool event. People come and get to go through and look at the trees, and so it's an opportunity for businesses to showcase their decorating skills, if you will, and also to market at an event. And those sorts of things are available galore. You just have to dig around your community a little bit. Do you ever do anything like that? Or do you have thoughts about how getting involved in the community could work or works really well for you?
I mean, I just think it's super important to try and give back. And I mean, you don't necessarily have to be noticed to do that, but I'm doing something even like with other RISA members or iHouse member, like other stagers in the area, to create something bigger, doing a Habitat for Humanity, or offering to stage with some of the older pieces that you have that you want to get rid of anyway, maybe donate to them and set things up. So
yeah,
I think that that is a great idea, to utilize your time and kind of stay ahead of your competition during this season. What about organization? I've seen a couple of people
Mhm.
move during this time, move their actual warehouses. So getting ahead of all of that. So you start fresh in the new year and,
Mhm.
purging things you don't need anymore. What are some ways that you organize now during this time?
I love that idea. If this does happen to be a slower time for you in your home staging business, yes, use that opportunity to get organized. If your storage and warehouse and inventory looks anything like Erin and I's, as much as we struggle to stay really organized in that space, so we're in and out of it all the time. So stuff is constantly getting shifted around. We will go in during periods of time like this when we've got some downtime from client work and really reorganize. Like you said, we purge out stuff that just has seen a better day. We donate it to some place that can, make better use of it. We take a look at what we have in inventory, and we look at the trends and give some consideration to what pieces we might maybe want to add in the coming year to, keep our inventory really fresh and relevant. The anything that you can do to, one of my favorite things, and this is how old school I am, Tori, I still use a paper calendar. So I love to, this isn't it, but I love to pull out my new annual planner. And that's really fun for me to, kind of start getting organized and
Here's
looking at things
mine.
at a wide glance. Oh, look at you do too. I love it. I love it. Old school is not dead. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of the new year, right? This is an awesome time for us to capitalize on the whole new year, fresh start mindset, because we're feeling that as entrepreneurs, that sense of excitement and fresh slate feeling that comes with launching into a new year. But our clients, our potential clients, they're all feeling that too. So I think there's an opportunity in home staging to think about how we meet clients' needs in that way. Everybody wants to get organized this time of year. So is that a service that you offer in your home staging business, or do you want to offer,
Mhm.
organizational services? What an awesome time to do it.
I know for me, usually in January is all about organizing, and I'll write blog posts around it. I usually
Yeah.
do a video series around organizing, and even offer like an organizing webinar, right? As just a
Yeah.
way to reach more homeowners. But I love the idea of adding a new service around this time. That's how the Visible You Incubator got started. I launched it last year over Black Friday,
Ah,
and it's a marketing membership program, that helps you learn new marketing tactics and obviously implement them into your business. And what a better time, because you're starting a new year, everybody's thinking about this, what are they going to do? So that's where that service came from. But even holiday decorating, you can still get on that trend a little bit. Definitely the organizing services,
mhm.
and even like freshening up your space for the new year.
Oh my
What,
gosh, there's a
like
huge opportunity
changing
there.
out pillows, doing like a little, changing out wall art. We all know small little changes can make a big impact in a room.
Right, right. I mean, what about offering a new year mini refresher where a client can purchase, 1 or 2 hours of your time, and you come
Mhm.
in and really, kind of do a super quick, facelift, give them recommendations for, maybe how to reconfigure furnishings and suggestions for, what to do to freshen their spaces. That can be super affordable, not take a lot of your time. And this is the new year is the time to capitalize on that. And on that note, if adding organizational services or decluttering services or cleaning services to your home staging, what you offer as a home stager is not in your wheelhouse or not something you want to do, then find somebody else in the community who's doing it and partner up and use that opportunity to, partner in terms of promoting, how can you promote their organizational and decluttering and cleaning services in exchange for them promoting, the unique thing that you're offering as a home stager, and, work together a little bit.
Yeah. And I think now is the time more than ever, even though it may seem challenging for some, but we can overcome that challenge, right? It's just, don't start neglecting your social media accounts, especially if you're trying to get into a new year, because of all the algorithms and everything that goes on now on these platforms. Yes, it's still a great way to promote yourself for free, but it takes time to ramp up, right? It's like, what is that? We'll go back to the compound effect. What is that small little thing that you can do that will gain the momentum you need? And it's posting more on social media, on like a social media account that you want to be known for in the new year now, in order for people to start, engaging and recognizing you later, right? Yeah. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. And I think that people often say to us, Tori, that, they're like, well, I don't have enough fodder or content or photos to do this. Use fodder from your own home. If you're taking some time to reorganize or restyle your bookshelves, use that, video that, photograph that, talk about that, offer some tips for your followers in terms of how they can do that. You can use your own life and your own, personal experiences to develop fodder for your social media. It doesn't always have to be, clients' homes and staging jobs. You have a lot to offer. Your skills are what you bring to the table. It doesn't matter, whose home you're in.
And I think even the back end stuff too, like the behind the scenes, what people want to see, like, how are you shopping? How do you decide to pick that lamp over that lamp? Like the design styles, what's the new trends? Like there are a plethora of things to talk about. So that's always a pet peeve of mine. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Say something.
Say anything. And I find that people are really interested in the DIY stuff and like the practical stuff. Like what can, if I am your follower on social media, what can you teach me how to do in 1 or 2 minutes? Can you show me how to properly configure a vignette for my coffee table in 2 minutes? I know you can teach me that, Tori. And like, for me as as a follower who doesn't, necessarily have that skill there, that's super valuable. You just taught me something in a short amount of time that I can replicate in my own home. And that is tremendous value to me as a follower, and, helps build that trust. I want to hear more from you as my guide, because I like what you have to share.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I launched the YouTube, like my YouTube channel, right? It's just how-tos, mostly around my house. There was stuff in there for clients and shopping and things like that. But I feel like if you're going to become an expert at what it is you do, you also need to be living it. Right.
Right.
And so if you can show that you are living how you are actually teaching other people how to live,
right.
It raises your expertise overall.
I agree. And when people see that we, live in the real world and we do these things in our own spaces, in our own homes, we're relatable, we're relatable, and we help people understand that these things are achievable. So
what? We're not a robot? We're human?
It's not magic.
We're humans. We're opening up. That's why we're here telling you something, some of our struggles, some of the things that have worked for us in the past. Let's end it like this, Jenny.
Yes.
That scarcity mindset.
Yes.
Because so many people suffer from that.
Yeah. So this is the scarcity mindset, right? This idea that I hear this all the time. Well, nobody's going to be staging over the holidays. nobody sells homes over the holidays. Number one, that's simply not true. And even if it is true for you in this moment, that is not where you need to put your energy. Put your energy on what you can do during this time. Maybe you don't have, a house to stage this week. Okay, well, Tori, you and I have just discussed, a whole handful of other things that can be done to really capitalize on a potentially slower time when everybody else is, asleep at the wheel. Maybe, we and you as home stagers are just doing a few simple things to stay on people's radars, to put yourself in front of the pack, to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, when you were saying that too, it just kind of like reminded me, it's like, okay, well, why not, maybe update your website during this time, or, decide that, yeah, you're going to make your website more shoppable and do like side door, or have a way to kind of get extra income coming in, that is just that you don't really have to do anything with, just market it every now and then, right? Or create mood boards while you're watching Netflix that you can put out there to show your expertise. So there's so many things that you could still be doing if you are not technically staging
That's right.
at this time. Creating content, batching videos that will eventually get you new leads coming down the line. Everything is not going to be a moneymaker instantly. Right. And I think that is where we need to change our mindset too, because so many people think, well, if we're not making money, we can't be doing this. And it's like, what is the money makers? Yes, focusing on that, but what can be making you money down the line that could be automated that you don't really have to touch once you have it set up?
Right. And the social media and the marketing and the connecting is the way that it's the way that you get people to choose you as their guide, right? It's the way that you earn people's trust. They see you, they learn from you, they get a taste of who you are, your personality and your ideas and your values. You're putting yourself out there on repeat. And just like you said, Tori, that doesn't necessarily translate into dollars every day. But what it does do is it builds your community into a group of people who trust you, who value you, who want to learn more from you, and who really want, who want you.
Yes. And if people want to learn more about you, Jenny, where should they go?
They should come find Erin and I at Revisions Mentor. We talk all things home staging there, and we love to have people join us with questions or comments. We have resources and materials and all of that. So come check us out there. Thank you for asking, Tori. That was nice. And everybody knows where to find you. You are home staging extraordinaire. Erin and I have mad respect for you. We really value what you are doing in our huge community, and we have learned so much from you. And you are killing it. And thank you for including us in your community. It's been really fun to be a part of it.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us.
Tori, where can our followers find you? Because I know that our folks want to learn more about what you have to offer.
Oh my goodness. I guess one of the simplest places where you can corral all of my stuff online would be just go to my website, toritoth.com. Of course, you can find me right here on YouTube too, and get a ton of home staging tips for your business, home sellers out there at youtube.com/homestagingtv.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Let us know what you do to handle holiday lag. What are your tricks? What are your tips? Subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave your comments below. We love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.